Welcome to this video. My name is Eva. I'm a certified nutritionist, and in this video I talk about some personal things because I really hope that when I share all of those personal things, it will help other people feel less alone or maybe understand themselves better. So that's why I make this video, and I want to give an update what's been going on since I went back to the Canary Islands, because for those of you who don't know, I used to live in the Canary Islands. And I'm originally from Germany. The Canary Islands are small islands. They belong to Spain but are close to Africa. And I used to live here with my ex-boyfriend, but then we broke up. I went to Germany. I traveled the world kind of, lived in other parts of Spain, and now I'm back. And so much shifted and I changed so much as a person. And I want to share with you like the reflections that I've had since coming here. So the first reflection is that Las Palmas, which is the main city of Gran Canaria, it's not for me anymore. I feel like when I first came here, I was so excited about this city and so many things. But now that I've been working so much, like in the end, what's the point of living in a city if you work all the time and you just have maybe one free day? Like you cannot use all the things that are happening in a city, at least for me. So I feel like I crave a lot more nature. Um, Also, I think maybe because I'm from a small village, not close to Munich, but in the environment of Munich. And I feel like when I was a child, I loved it. When I was a teenager, I hated it because I had time. When you're in school, you have more time. And I wanted to explore. But now, when you work so much, you don't have time. I feel like it matters, especially I work from my laptop a lot, so for me, it really matters to have kind of like just a room where you have a lot of plants and where you have maybe you can just where you're more surrounded with nature. I think for me that really became a priority, to be with nature and to have a slow lifestyle, like to not be stressed all the time. Um, I think that's really how that I yeah that's really just something how I changed that. For me, like city life, I mean cities are so different. If you compare, for example, Las Palmas to Munich, it's completely whole different universe, because Munich is such a huge city and you have so many parks. So even if you live in Munich, you can still feel like, and it's just so huge. But Las Palmas is quite different, and I feel like my next big goal, what I want to accomplish in life when it comes to my personal life, is to one day have, like, first rent a small finca or an apartment, more in nature, and then one day maybe buy a finca. Like finca, with finca I mean like a small house in the Canary Islands, more in nature. I think that would be definitely a vision that I would have. And then also have a dog, because I love dogs. I had a dog in the past, and I think that's really something that I want to have in my life again, and hopefully also a more stable relationship. And yeah, and just during the week, just focus on work and on nature. And then on the weekends, yeah, just meet with friends, have fun. Because in the end, what I feel like, when you work full time, you basically have not much time. During the week, you maybe can go to the gym or something, but that's really it. And then you just have maybe one day in the week to do fun activities. So what's the point of living in a city if you cannot really enjoy the things of it? So yeah, so that's for me a big goal of mine, to have something more in nature, and to, because I feel also the Canary Islands, for me, they feel like my second home. I feel really good here, because the nature is really stunning and you have good weather all year round. But I feel like if I live in Las Palmas, like I'm not really I don't know, not really enjoying the nature as much as if I would live in a small finca. And then also I would love to grow some of my food, like at least have a fig tree, have a papaya tree, avocado tree, grow some salads. So not like something huge, but definitely something. So yeah, but obviously that's a huge thing, and definitely something that I want to do maybe in the next 10, 15 years, and I will see how it goes. But yeah, because also for me, I think I would love to have something that is my own, because for example I grew up in a house that was my dad's house, so I never really had to think of, because when you live in an apartment you can get thrown out of that apartment at any time, at least in Germany, because in Germany we have this law that if the house owner wants to live in that house, like he can kick you out anytime. And I feel like that's such a weird concept, that you live in an apartment and you can just get kicked out anytime basically. I mean, I think you have 3 months or something, or 6 months to find a new place, but still it is, yeah. So my goal for the next decade or maybe even more is to buy a small finca in the Canary Islands and hopefully live there. It's just really difficult, because in Germany you can live in Germany and just get another job, but here in the Canary Islands, first of all, if you're not a native speaker, it's probably a little bit more difficult, and also they pay so bad. I mean, the wage, usually Canary people, like people from the Canary Islands, there's a, like, many people don't find a job, and if they find a job, it's really low paid, so some people have to do 2 jobs to survive, and it's really difficult. So that's why I also really want to work on my online business so much more, because it's just, yeah, I want to live in the Canary Islands, but I want to have also my online business. So I'm really excited how I will make this dream come true. But first, you always have to have a dream and then work very hard for it, and I think I can do it. And I will take you with me on this journey. Another update that I want to give with you is just my 20s, and like the 20s in general. And I think that what I've learned so far is that, at least for me, my 20s are really a time to discover. I mean, and like the progress that I've made as a person in the last 4 years since I finished school until now is insane. I'm a complete different person that I was when I was 18, and I've, like, so many things that I thought would be true are not true, and my perspective changed so much. It is really insane, and I think for anyone who's in their 20s, or who's in maybe a midlife crisis or something like that, where they question their life so far, I really just want to send you a lot of compassion, and I want to say to you, it's okay to try out things, and when you try out things, to also realize, okay, maybe this thing is not how I imagined it to be, or this is something that I wanted to have, but now I changed. And I think that's something completely normal, and it's okay to change your path in life, and it's okay to try out different things. And I feel like now, looking back, what we learned in school, it did not, at least I have the feeling, it prepares you to be an employee for the university, to work in at least the school that I went to, but it does not prepare you at all for the real life. Like, I learned nothing about like romantic relationships, how to deal with trauma in school, and I think that's, yeah, you really have to unlearn a lot that you have learned in school, and also you have to always your whole life keep learning. But yeah, if you're going through a time of just questioning what are your life priorities, where do you want to live, etc., I just want to send you a lot of compassion and say it's okay to try out new things. And yeah, and the last update that I want to share with you, it's also something personal, but I feel like I share it so much about like like what I've learned from the relationship with my ex-boyfriend, and I feel like now it just came to an end. And I want to share that last piece of it, because for those of you who are not following me for a long time, I used to have a relationship in the Canary Islands. We broke up and I went to Germany, etc. And now, coming back to the Canary Islands, I actually could meet with my ex-boyfriend, and it was a really great conversation for me, and it was a really great closure as well, because I feel like, because I haven't seen him in 1.5 years, because I moved to Germany and then there was no contact, like no real life contact, there were still some things that were not processed when it came to this relationship. And I feel like just having that conversation with my ex-boyfriend, it really gave me a lot of closure, and it just really clarified that we are not right for each other. We will never be a couple again in the future, because we have such different visions of how we want our dream life to look like, or how we want our life to look like. But it really gave me so much gratitude for this past relationship, for this relationship with my ex-boyfriend. I think that I'm really grateful for it, and even though it's over, it gave me so much perspective and so much learning, and I could heal a lot within that relationship as well. So yeah, I think that was just a huge closure, and I'm really grateful for that. And I think that going on, like continuing, how I want to continue from that is I want to focus a lot more on my personal healing journey, and also I want to focus a lot more on my business. I think that now my business really becomes a priority in my life, even more probably than romantic relationships, and also just focusing on my own healing journey when it comes to trauma recovery, etc. So yeah, but it was really it was such a big relief. I think when I came back to the Canary Islands for the first week, I was just really back into that breakup stage where you go to different places and you see and you were reminded of that past relationship, and I think that there were still some things that I needed to process, and I think that I finally processed it, and I think that I'm finally able to completely close that chapter, and it feels quite liberating. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you, and to close that chapter. And yeah, but how about you? Like, did you recently move to a different place? Did you start a new job? What is happening in your life? If you want to share it with us, with other people who are watching, feel free to write it down in the comment section. How do you prefer living in a city, or do you prefer living in the countryside? I think it's such a huge topic, and it depends on each country. So for example, I could never live in for example, New York, or I could never live in a huge city, but I could for sure live in Munich because it's so green. So yeah, what is your opinion? Do you prefer nature? Do you prefer city? What are your thoughts? I hope you have a beautiful, wonderful day, and I see you in my next video. And if you're curious about diet, if you're curious about improving your lifestyle, switching to a healthier lifestyle, feel free to subscribe to my channel, follow me on social media, and check out my amazing nutrition program. I'm really excited to be working with you. You can also book a free discovery call. So thank you so much, and see you in my next video.